how did you guys come up with this business, and what was your experience mainly?
Okay, so in the beginning, my partner and I wanted to work with each other and create something that we thought was gonna solve for grocery shoppers. We created Santa Lucia Grocers because at that time, online grocery delivery services that we were providing did not seem to exist in Kenta.
Mhm.
It was all an experiment to see if customers were really going to use our product and service, and we were not sure if it was gonna work. At first, our customers were like our friends, families, and ourselves. But when the pandemic hit, things started to change. We started getting like real customers that had the real need for what we were offering. So, like after doing all of those things, this is when we started, my partner and I started looking at each other and we realized that, okay, maybe we need to provide like more solutions to our customers, which eventually gave us, more reasons to expand and grow our services to more locations.
Actually, for Hungry Homies, like anyone else during the pandemic, it was born out of like boredom and also like looking for sanity, like doing something else aside from working from home.
Mhm.
And it turned out to be like my life's pivot into the F&B industry, making my way from like the PR and event side and like advertising. So I left all that behind and actually like pivoted to starting my own F&B business, which used to be basically just a passion project for me, something I would do on the side. I started out really hands-on with it. I started out selling maybe like 10 to 15 burgers like on the first day, and just to friends and family. Like I think
Mhm.
like luckily enough, I have very supportive family and friends who tried it out and shared it with their own networks, and from there it just exponentially grew. The word about Hungry Homies being like the new burger in town, it's like spread
Right.
like wildfire.
Mhm.
So I think like
Right.
that when we started our business, it was everything was manual. Like I had to learn everything from scratch, meaning whether it be taking down orders via Google Sheets or like Excel or whatever, like manually, and
Mhm.
collecting payment by texting each customer. Hey, have you paid? Can you send me like proof of payment? Blah blah blah. Like those were the pain points that I was like experiencing at the beginning, and then
Right.
eventually like I started looking for like different solutions, and found Sendit.
Well, there was like, in the beginning, really, it was like me and my partner just trying to brainstorm and think like, what can we create in here in like in for the customers of like the mall, right? And, we were doing our research that time. It was 2019. And, one of the things that I remember in college that I really hated was doing grocery shopping, right?
Mm.
Because like you have your thesis, you have your exams, and you have like your projects and readings and things that you have to complete. And then at the same time, especially if you're living alone, you have to pop by the mall or the supermarket, wherever you are, and then do your grocery shopping, which could take like 1 to 3 hours depending on like the line, the day, and etc. Right?
Mhm.
And like after realizing this, we started doing our research. Like we're saying that there seems to be like a digital shift here in the country already.
Right.
Like from what do you call this? From ordering your food online to getting your transport. You could get like Uber or Grab via those apps. And then we were saying like, what do you think is like going to be the next thing that people would eventually like want to use in the future? And that's when we started saying like, why don't we do online groceries?
Well, for Hungry Homies, it felt very natural for us, starting from like the whole manual process, slowly moving to like Google Sheets, and then moving to like Jotform, and then you can see that with every app that we start using, there's always that one thing that improves the service level. We didn't need to rush into like what type of format or like what type of platform will make ourselves available to, but at every stage we measure the profitability of the business.
Mhm.
We knew that there was a demand, and for us to be able to manage the demand a lot better, like we needed a better back end support. We needed a better like website, better interface for like for a better customer experience. Like for example, they would sign up like via Google Forms, like
Okay.
just they want to reserve a slot.
Oh.
They'll have to wait for a text from me
Mm.
that I can confirm their order because we only do pre-orders at that time.
Okay.
And now by confirming their orders, now they have to pay through their bank app and then send the proof of payment back to me just to
Oh.
prove that they've paid. So that was definitely like I could do it fast if I had like maybe like 10 customers.
But you're
But-
growing. I mean, you have a
but-
lot of customers, right?
Exactly. Like as I continued to grow, it was really just weighing the pros and cons and weighing like the cost benefit of like having like my own website, having like that payment integration inside the website itself. I still have the manual bank transfer available. And from being fully like 100% on bank transfers, like manual bank transfers, that number went down drastically to less than 10% of my total sales. So it just shows that people look for convenience when they shop. People want that seamless integration from choosing what they want to buy and paying for it all in one place. It really makes their experience that much better.
Since we wanted to provide online grocery shopping to our customers, we had to consider multiple things for our online store. The first consideration was like our business model, wherein we had to make sure that what we had envisioned to provide our customers on paper made sense to implement online and by e-commerce upon execution. The second one was like our budget, because you need to know if you are creating something temporary or if you're doing something for the long term. So for people that like are starting to create their e-commerce website, you have to like identify this first, because this way you could forecast and calculate like your expected cost and decide whether or not you need something simple, easy, and cheap, or you need to build something more advanced and expensive by hiring like your own developer or custom build your own website. Aside from that, I think another thing that we had to consider was like scalability.
Mhm.
When you create like your e-commerce site, you need to check if the provider, the tech team creating your custom built site allows you to scale easily without much additional cost or modification to your entire website. This way, you don't need to adjust and rebuild, along the way when you get like a surge in the future, right? What should we do if we experience certain problems along the way, and what should we consider when we create like our e-commerce site? Because like for groceries, like we have around more than 20,000 products online, so we cannot just for example take orders via social media and customers sending us messages like, hey, this is like my 100 list of groceries, and we want it delivered. The margin of error there is very high, so that's something that we also like have to consider when we were building our website. What else? I think the last thing that we were also considering was like our knowledge at the moment, because like I'm sure for everyone that's starting out, you have to visualize like what your product should look like eventually when you launch. So you have to be like honest with yourself and know like what exactly is your capacity to build and solve problems in the future, and what type of like e-commerce website you have to use for your business in the future. Because sometimes you can tell yourself like okay, I want to have this very advanced looking website that fits in the market and is in par with my competitors. But if you don't know how to implement it, or if you underestimate the difficulty of implementing something like that, then you're gonna have like problems along the way.
So now that we've talked about how you guys grew your business, what was the challenge, and why you latched on to like an e-commerce site or perhaps like an app to build your business, and how social or your modes of advertising with social media, let's go to payments. How did Zendit like basically help your business, especially by removing all those manual kind of payments that you usually accept from your demanding customers?
Actually, like I had to like really like reflect on what part of the business was making it profitable. Like and for Hungry Homies, it was really about me focusing on the food, focusing on the quality of like the product that we're putting out. And I saw a huge opportunity for like in the burger scene here in Manila to just really like do really good burgers, like my style. That's something we can be known for. But also realized that seizing the opportunity is a function of time. And I had to check like what was eating up most of my time and pulling me away from the important things that actually is helping my business become profitable. And that was actually like the collecting payments, like the processing payments from the customers themselves. Because like if I was doing that, then who's doing R&D for the food? Who's doing like the most important thing to keep like the brand and the business like growing and improving?
Yeah.
It just all clicked for me that okay, that this is really the time for me to focus on like having like a nicer website with seamless payment integration. Simply because I now I don't have to worry about anything. Like even like the withdrawal of all the payments are easily like deposited to my bank account.
Right.
I think also even with like new business owners, especially like for like the really new ones that only accept cash, only accept GCash, only accept PayMaya, like the convenient money transfer apps.
Right.
But what about those that want to pay via credit card, via debit card? So with like I wanted to have like a payment integration that also allowed customers to choose and have the power to pay the way they want to pay.
I was mentioning earlier, we launched on Feb 2020, right? And in the beginning, most of the customers were paying in cash or GCash, like the traditional way of paying, like what customers were familiar with. So we didn't really pay much attention on, adding more payment channels and having like payment integrations on our website, because we thought like at the beginning, we had to fine tune first like certain, methods and processes in our entire online grocery thing. Because when March came and we had the pandemic, like things really changed for us, like suddenly like people ordering online from convenience and, to skip the line, to avoid traffic. It started to become like, I don't want to get COVID. I need to order my groceries online, right? And when this was happening, we started seeing like a lot of people order alcohol. And when March came, we started getting like a spike in orders and we were so overwhelmed. And one of the things that we continuously did with our like chat support team was like to keep getting feedback from our customers on how we can improve and essentially like solve their problem. Because like we were getting like senior citizen customers that were very afraid to go out. And one of the things that they were saying is that, do you have like a cashless payment method that they can use? Because even the rider, they don't want to be in contact with. Like when the rider goes to their house and deliver their groceries, they leave it outside for like 6 hours. And
Yeah.
they were saying like, it helps them like disinfect or remove the virus or what.
Correct.
So, we were like, okay, we have to consider this. And if we were only accepting cash, this was very hard to avoid, because even if they wanted to stay away from the rider, they had to give the cash to the rider and the rider had to be in contact with them. So that puts them at risk. So as, things progressed and as, we were starting to understand like what are the problems and what solutions we needed to provide, we started like looking at payment integrations to connect on our website. And this is where we started like checking what were the available payment gateways out there that we could connect to our website, right? And in the beginning, when we were looking around, we saw like, quite a few of them that were offering their services. But, there were like one-time fee, there was like connecting fee, there was like integration fee. And on top of that, it was like, as advertised, it seemed like they had all the payment methods. But apparently here in Philippines, only Visa and MasterCard was accepted on their platform for the merchants here. And we were like, okay, that that sucks because like as we know, people are using like a lot of e-wallets, a lot of like Visa debit card that are local. And we started looking, and eventually we just told ourselves that what, let's just put PayPal first, because with PayPal, you could accept like a lot of debit and credit cards. But PayPal's fees kind of high, compared to like Zendit. And at that time, we felt like we had no choice because ultimately what we were trying to solve here was like the safety for the customers. So we said, you know what, let's just implement it. Let's add it to the website. Let's give this convenience to the customer, and let's see how it goes. And then, through patience and research and, like trying to look for like the perfect payment gateway partner, we were trying to, we told ourselves, like we wish there was like a local or a company here that was from Southeast Asia that integrated, that, can provide a consolidated payment channel, like what Zendit is doing. And then, eventually we found Zendit. And when we connected it to our store, we were like, wow, this is incredible, because like it pretty much like solves all our cashless payment problem. Because like before, from only providing cash on delivery, PayPal, and Gcash, now we could provide pretty much everything, and that's being used in the market right now. And even like one thing that we didn't expect is like buying your groceries now and paying it in installments. Before, like in order for you to get your groceries delivered, you had to either pay for it in advance, pay for it upon fulfillment, or pay for it during delivery, right? But now customers can actually buy their groceries. Like let's say, for example, there's some customers, they add like a lot of items in their cart. And they get excited, or when they shop online, they say like, oh, you know what, I want to try this, I want to eat this for this weekend. And then like upon checkout, they miscalculated that, okay, this is like beyond my budget, right? Before what they had to do was like either they have to abandon their cart, or they have to like reduce their number of products to fit their budget. But now, they can like order whatever they want and then like register with the Belize and then pay the groceries in installment. And for us, we were like, okay, we think this is crazy. This is like something that is a real solution to a lot of people right now. And yeah, so eventually, like when we connected Zendit, we got all these types of opportunities, and we started getting like unique customers as well from the different payment channels. And we feel like it's a really huge plus for us.
So with that being said, the fact that you have integrated our channels with your own e-commerce website, like with you, Sir Jay, you have latched onto an e-commerce enabler. With you, Miggy, same goes for you. So I will actually lead in my next question to Kenton, because basically he was also one of the brains behind integrating our payment channels. Like, what do you think is the advantage of integrating with a payment gateway?
Yeah. First of all, hello. I'm excited to share and share what we can offer and how we can help you as merchants. The advantage, in my eyes, to connecting with a payment gateway is kind of that we handle, or the payment gateway handles all the aggregation. So it's like a one-stop shop. Like Miggy and Jay said, previously they would have to manually do it maybe through every single different channel. So if you wanted to accept credit cards, you'd have to go through maybe PayPal. If you wanted to do pay later, you could need to integrate with like a Billy's or Credivo. And you would do this to every single payment channel you wanted to support. So that might end up being 5, 6, even more different integrations you would have to set up, manage, and keep track of. And you're running a business. You don't want to worry about the complicated account management, the bookkeeping, the setting up. So through Zendit, kind of instead of that individualized connections, what Zendit does is kind of be the middleman. So if you're a online e-commerce platform on Ecwid, all you would do is connect to Zendit, and then Zendit would do the individual connections to each of the channels you wanted to integrate with. So with one connection, you could accept credit cards, you could accept e-wallets, buy now, pay laters, and then all that management would just be done on one account, one site. So that consolidation just frees up so much of your brain power and your kind of mental energy that you can instead put into, you know, marketing, improving your product, you know, growing your brand, and focusing on your social media platforms, which, as other panelists have shared, is very important to expanding your potential customers and increasing your sales.
We've seen a shift from people that were doing PayPal and that were doing bank deposits and bank deposits and PayPal. We've seen a shift like from them doing those things and going to Zendit. We've also been seeing like, you know, some regular customers that used to pay via, you know, like our old payment channels, pay with like the preferred payment preference that they want. So, you know, from this, I think it really provides convenience to the customer. In terms of sales, I would say maybe quite a bit. We were getting like unique customers from like the different payment channels. Like before, we didn't have GrabPay, and we didn't have PayMaya, and we didn't have like, you know, those BNPLs, right? But now we do. Even over the counter, we do. And we've seen like, you know, customers using these types of payment channels that has never ordered from us before. But we feel like, you know, since they already have accounts in those channels, they're just like out there checking like what type of merchants are accepting their type of payment method. And when they find like, you know, groceries that is accepting like the payment method that they have, then it's very easy for them to go there and then just like, you know, spend their money in their e-wallets and, you know, convert it to like groceries. So for us, I would say like, you know, maybe we don't have yet like enough data to fully like determine if it has increased sales. But what we can say right now is that we've seen a shift from our other payment method going to Zendit.
In terms of migration, I think that it was so seamless. Like everyone was so game to like just use the Zendit and like the payment integration inside the website. But I think more than sales being the driver, like additional sales being the driver for you to like get like these payment integrations in place, it was actually like even before I reached like the full capacity of like doing the whole manual thing, like it was part of like the forecasting that, oh, I might be expecting more sales coming by this month. Mm-hmm. So that's when I started reaching out to like Zendit. Like even before it became a problem for me, like I had to like plan ahead, and that's what like finding out what Zendit was all about. And then now that I have Zendit like installed, I have Zendit integrated, I feel like more than wanting to see like an increase in sales right away, I sleep at night knowing that my business is future proof. That whatever payments or whatever surge in payments that might come in the future, I know that my website can handle it. I don't need to worry about that. All I need to do is like worry about the things that would make the customer come back to me.
Moving on to the next part of this discussion, we'll have Kenton basically do a demo on how you can and on how easy it is and very seamless it is to integrate Zendit's payment channels with our newly launched e-commerce enabler partner, Ecwid. So Kenton, over to you.
Sure thing. Hi. Yeah, so our team at Zendit was the one that helped drive the integration between Zendit and Ecwid. So we essentially connected all the payment methods that we support at Zendit and made it easy for the end customers of your Ecwid store to purchase and use. First, a little kind of, I think, background on like e-commerce sales. I think that's like super important to highlight that in the most recent years, we've seen e-commerce and online stores just grow much faster than offline stores. This has been exacerbated by the pandemic, as you can see. There was a drop off during 2020 when COVID started. But you could see immediately after that the green portion, which is online stores, started growing at a faster rate than the blue, which is traditional brick and mortar stores. So kind of now more than ever is an important part to just go online. You're accessing a whole different base of customers than you would, in a brick and mortar store. So kind of generally, what is Ecwid? Not sure if who's using it right now and who's planning on using it, but in short, it's a shopping cart platform, e-commerce platform that lets users kind of easily set up their store. It's highlighted that things are pre-built for you. You have kind of certain amount of customizability that you could add to it, so you can really put your own brand on it. You can organize it the way you wanted, and really create your own place on the internet. And there's a lot of functionalities to it too, like including like coupons, loyalty programs, marketing. All those apps and features are in Ecwid. So really, it's a seamless, easy way for you to kind of jump into an e-commerce online presence. I want to talk about like what type of merchants is Ecwid or other shopping cart platforms good for? Because we know there's a lot of different ones. People sell on Instagram, people sell on Ecwid, and people sell on their own custom pre-built website. So which one is right for you? I think it kind of depends on like what stage of the business you're on and like what operation costs you have, or operation potential, or capabilities you have. As you kind of go down this list, the size of the business generally will increase, but also the size of the cost. So like Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, those are good for small amounts of purchases. But as you hear the speakers do, it's very manual. Also, you don't have as much branding. Like on Shopee, you're kind of stuck always underneath the Shopee logo. And if you want to grow and expand, it's hard to kind of create your own image. But it's very quick, it's very easy. On the other hand of the spectrum, we have own websites, and that's like coding, hire a whole team, and it's kind of too much for someone to just jump in. So kind of shopping cart platforms like Ecwid is a good middle ground where you have your own branding, but a lot of things are pre-built for you, so it's easy to get started. And Zendit comes in where we integrate with Ecwid already to make it very simple to set up. So you don't have to think about the payment, you don't have to think about building everything. You just jump in, and in as little as 10 minutes you can create your own store. This is a kind of a summary of how Ecwid works with Zendit. Kind of on the left, without Zendit, you might need to integrate with every individual channel separately. So that's 4 types of reconciliation, checking on 4 different methods, or more. When you use Zendit, we are the middleman, right? And we kind of integrate for you. And all you have to do is talk with Zendit. Some of the channels we support on Ecwid are the following. There's over a dozen, and we're always adding more. We listen to what you need, listen to what the customers are paying for, and we strive to make it easy for the customers that pay. Because, like we said, it doesn't matter how the customer pays, we just want to get paid. So the easier we make it, the more customers we can reach. When we built the Ecwid Zendit integration, we strove to make it as easy as possible for merchants to integrate. We kind of took and handled all the backend, all the development, and we made it very simple, just kind of easy click and go. So the integration portion of actually linking Ecwid and Zendit only takes like 2-3 minutes, assuming you have your Ecwid account and you have your Zendit account. After that, all you need to do is activate channels you want, and really you could start selling immediately. So this is my Ecwid Zendit demo store. I'll add a couple things to cart. This is how your end customer would actually check out. Here we can enter shipping or billing information. Shipping is next. And you can see here, the customer can see a Zendit payment method. And from that one payment method, your end customer is able to unlock and access all the different varieties of channels that we support. So that gives them ultimate flexibility and ultimate kind of decision power of how they want to pay. In this case, I'm going to pay with credit card, and I'm click simulation. This is how we test the credit card process. And simple, as fast as that, the payment can be processed and cleared for some channels. And then I'll redirect you back to an order success page. So from the end user perspective, it's very quick, it's very simple. There's not much kind of thinking and manual process. This is on the Ecwid admin site. So as a merchant, you will see immediately that, oh, a customer paid. I got an order. They've paid already with Zendit. All that is handled already. And from here, you can figure out what I need to make, what I need to bake, what I need to ship. You can see all the customer info here. And from the Zendit side, we can confirm and see if the transaction gone through. So this is what it looks like if you go to the actual Zendit side. So from here, you can see all the transactions as well, and also this is where you manage your payment methods you want to support. This is where you transfer your balance and be able to actually reach the funds. And we can see right here that purchase was just made for that $13,000. It happens immediately, and all the information is stored. So from your end, you don't really have to do anything. Ecwid and Zendit work together to take care of all the record keeping, processing, and management of these sales.
Yeah. So for Zendit, like recently, what we did not expect that was gonna be used was the BNPL, right? So if you can add like more channels like Belize, I think it would give our customers like a lot more options to tap into this type of payment method. Because we feel like, especially right now, with inflation going up and people like, we sell essentials, we sell groceries, but even then, like, people are still looking for ways to save, and they're still looking for ways to have a more flexible payment plan. So I think like Belize is really doing a very good job, and the way they treat their customers is really well as well. But if we can have like more channels for us to have like a more objective comparison when it comes to who is better in the market right now and what they're doing. So yeah, for us it's pretty much that.
Great. So noted on adding more channels on our buy now pay later product. So we've just added recently, which was Kashalo, but soon for sure we will have more. So we will let you know and be updated and keep you updated rather.
What's exciting for me and working with Zendit is actually like what happens on ground, because like I started the business digitally. So like Zendit has like the digital payments covered, but I was hoping that when I start going out, I can take you with me, like as opposed to like getting my own terminals and like setting up like an actual like payment terminal there. It can be like it's still fully integrated to my Zendit account. So it's not just like a digital store that's paying via Zendit, but it's also like the on-ground store, like physical pop-ups, actual restaurants in the future. Like hopefully, like I think the convenience of having everything all in one shop, like is like the best thing that could happen for both customer and business owner.